Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all are doing great and are being safe. CliMed Research Solutions welcomes you to a very interesting webinar on emotional intelligence, along with the grand starting of a new season of CliPod Clinical Podcast on Demand. This is Nausheen from Family third year student and a research intern at CliMed Research Solutions, your kind host for today. By catching up the title of the webinar, which is Emotional Intelligence, I'm sure that everyone would be thinking, what do we mean exactly by emotional intelligence and does it really exist? So to clarify this, primarily emotional intelligence, otherwise known as emotional quotient or EQ, is the ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions in positive ways to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, overcome challenges, and diffuse conflicts. I think now everyone are confirmed with the basic outline of the topic to be dealt in our session. Now turning over to CliPod, CliMed Research Solutions have taken an initiative to start a clinical podcast with eminent and interviewing speakers. This clinical podcast is for everyone, including the general public, who is interested to listen and get involved in the health awareness. And additionally, we are inaugurating the new season of CliPod Clinical Podcast on Demand with eminent speaker Ms. Mansi Dholakia, CEO of Global Mental Health Association, psychology counselor, trainer, and motivational speaker. With this spirit, I would like to introduce our speaker to you all. Ms. Mansi Dholakia is a global mental health ambassador, an EI coach, a holistic expert, an author, and an international speaker. Mansi ma'am is the CEO of GMHA, Global Mental Health Association, USA, an advisor on board at Mental Health Change UK, an advisor on board with EQ 4Ps USA. She's also on the board of trustees with World Peace Tracts Organization in the United Kingdom. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Nausheen, for the beautiful introduction. And to add on, I've just recently found out yesterday that I've become a UN ambassador as well. I'm an eminent speaker at the United Nations now. So, yes, I'm very happy to be here today.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And yes, emotional intelligence is something which is very, very close to my heart. And GMHA, our organization, works towards raising, awareness around emotional intelligence and is working hard to bring emotional intelligence into schools and universities across the world in various ways. In India, currently, our initiatives lie in bringing emotional intelligence into the society mindset. So we have so many initiatives surrounding that, and as a part of that mission, I'm here today along with you to speak about the same. So thank you for having me here today.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to invite Dr. Ajit Singh, co-founder and CEO at CliMed Research Solutions, National Director of Research at World Youth Heart Federation. Over to you, sir.
Hi. So good afternoon, everyone. Again, I hope you all are doing well and you keeping yourself safe at house in this, Corona pandemic. Because now, I think, everyone is suffering. Everyone, every family, and all of us, students, academicians, and the general public, and whoever is working outside
Okay.
or
So before going into
inside
the
the
session,
room.
I want to request everyone to keep yourselves.
Yes, Naushin.
Yes,
Yes,
sir, you can
please.
go ahead.
Yeah, so guys, please keep your mics off. That's all. During the sessions, you can post your questions in chat box, so we can answer, and Ms. Mansi can answer later. Or in between also, you will get a chance to talk to her and to ask your questions. So I'll back to the webinar thing. So, it's just a few days back when I came to know about Miss Mansi through LinkedIn. And when I was going through her profile, it is, very impressive. Seriously, when she is doing a great job in emotional intelligence, and that is something, which is not touched in India. And people want it. Actually, we all are having these kind of issues in our life, in our, college life, in our family life, and in our universities, whenever we go outside or whenever we are in our national universities, anywhere in your schools, in your colleges, and in your business also, when you are an entrepreneur or you are a part of any organization, you have that kind of issues in your mind, and you get, you can come across these kind of issues, like how to make the correct decisions, how to deal with people. There you need that intelligence, or you can say the mechanism of your brain, that how to deal the things in a right way, right? So when I was reading her posts in LinkedIn, and I was going through her profile, so I got to know, like, okay, it's something new, and we should initiate something in this area. And CliPod is our quite old venture under CliMed, where we have started our first season with the Gauri, Miss Gauri. So she has taken about 5 episodes, and then I thought, like, okay, let's go with emotional intelligence for our CliPod season 2. And guys, you will be wondering when it will be launched. You will be listening to her, and you will get clarifications of many questions in many areas in your life, in your whatever you are feeling. And this, in this corona pandemic, you have that kind of issues, the depression, that frustration, and such things are coming out. Even sometimes I feel like I should go out of home, and I should roam around, and I should do something crazy, because I'm in house for almost 1.5 year, right? So we need something to control our brain, and we need something to control our emotions. And we need to take the right decisions, what is better for us, being in home or going outside. So this is again one type of example where you need to decide yourself, and like what is good for you, right? So to enlighten this, today we have Miss Mansi with us, and I hope you will be enjoying this podcast as well, and today's webinar. If you have any questions, you can ask her live today. Okay, guys, so I welcome you all, and I welcome Ms. Mansi. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation and joining us here.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ajit. Nice to be here. And yes, I'm very much looking forward to this session and later interaction as well. So yes, Nausheen, you may begin.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Um, Before going into the session, I want to request everyone to keep yourselves on mute throughout the session to avoid the disturbances. We're going to have an interactive session, so everyone can have their turn to post their queries in comment or the chat box during the discussion, and we will clear it out at the end of the session. Now, before going into the actual interaction, ma'am, can you please outline the basic definition of this concept of emotional intelligence?
Right. So, as rightly mentioned by you as well in the beginning of the conversation today, that emotional intelligence is all about understanding, managing, and controlling your emotions in a positive way. So, basically, the basic understanding of emotions, if you know, if you are self aware of your emotions, then that can help you empower yourself in a completely different way. And especially, like Dr. Ajit just mentioned, in the pandemic times that we are, it's very much the need of the hour that we all take responsibility for our own mental well-being.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, now to start with the basics of EQ, I would like to ask you that how do the development of emotional intelligence form a link between personal and professional success?
I think to answer that question, I would like to begin with, giving you a little bit of explanation about the basic components of emotional intelligence. So, like I just explained the definition of EI. So, to add on to that, there are 5 components in emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-regulation, self-motivation, empathy, and social skills. So if we begin with self-awareness, for example, you walk, what is self-awareness? So if you walk into a room full of people and you can just, judge the vibe, the environment, the atmosphere, it's the basic understanding of your own emotions. You are highly self-aware of your own self. It begins with self. Everything to do with emotional intelligence begins with your own self. See, because the circumstances are not in your control, the environment is not in your control, the people are not in your control. How anybody reacts to you, that is not in your control. What is in our control? We. our minds are in our control. So emotional intelligence teaches you about controlling, your own mindset and becoming more self-aware. Once you are more self-aware, then you move on to the next step, that is to self-regulate, which means to regulate your emotions, to modify them as per the need, of your circumstance or of the environment that you are in. Then comes self motivation, which is about motivating yourself in different ways, like Dr. Ajit just mentioned as well, in the pandemic that we are right now in. I mean, even I go through those times where, I feel really down suddenly, especially it happens to me personally, especially in the evenings. The day just goes by. But then when the evening comes, and so many times it has happened that during the night, 10, 11 p.m., I'm just like, I just need to get out of the house. And I'm just like, I cannot, take it anymore. So it happens to all of us. We are all going through very similar emotion mindset. We are not very different on that level. Whatever work we are in, whatever profession we are dealing with, I think emotional intelligence will help you there to come out of that mindset. So that is what is important. When you are feeling low, when you are feeling down, because that is going to happen. Look, no matter what, you cannot say, I don't think any individual can say that I am completely okay all the time. We are not. So I think the first thing is to understand that we are not going to be okay, and that is okay to not feel okay. But then how to deal with not feeling okay, that is where the key lies. And I think that is what we are trying to promote here, that how can we get out of that mindset. So for example, at 11 p.m, when I personally, I always give personal examples, so because it's easier for you to understand them, that where you come from. um, I start, reading my favorite book, or I start journaling, I start writing something. My LinkedIn is filled with posts all the time. And that is the reason, because when I start creating something, a creative quotient, when your creativity goes high, I think that anxiety levels, what you're feeling, that will go low because you have distracted your mind in a different way to do something else. So these are some of the ways, how you can deal with things, and emotional intelligence is very helpful, in this particular area. So yeah, I think that gives a little bit of an insight. And about the personal and professional life, I think becoming more self-aware, understanding your emotions better, will always help you to establish boundaries, will always help you with the work-life balance that you're trying to achieve. We're all working from home right now. So, 24 hours round the clock, we are just working, working, working. And there are no boundaries right now. For me personally, I put my laptop, my books, everything away from my bed. I just do not want anything on my bed at all. That is the only way how we can, create those boundaries and live a healthy life. And I think that's very important. If you want to go a long way, it's very important to live a healthy, mental, peaceful life. So yeah, Nausheen, that's the answer to that.
Exactly.
Yes,
True.
ma'am, totally agreed. And now, coming to the next question is to you, sir. That is coming to the young blood, especially in males. Sir, nowadays we find an unusual anger outbreak in young guys, which is unacceptable. So, have you encountered such situation before? And if yes, then can you please suggest any idea how to deal with it?
Actually, when I was reading your question actually yesterday, frankly, uh, this happened only yesterday only with me. The same thing, the same I encountered yesterday with one of my friend. So, like we are together, and we are in you know in some project, right? So we are doing that project together, and there was some conflict, and he's quite outburst kind of person, and he sometimes comes with anger, and he always do that. So what happened actually, yesterday he came up with a lot of things, and he was telling, now I really don't want to continue with you, it's done. Now I'm not going to complete this project with you, and now I just want to quit. So what happened? No, you are doing this, you are doing this. Simple, I mean, these things happens actually. So I mean, I had the answers, I had clear cut answers for him, but that time I felt like if I give answers also at this point of time, it would be useless, I just kept myself silent. I told him, okay, you take your time, decide, and then let me know. Seriously, today morning I got a call and he was totally fine. And see, it is happening actually every time, every time it is with everyone. We are young and we have a lot of things, and there are many trust issues even in between us, and with your classmates, with your friends, with your colleagues, wherever you are working in your organizations, there is a competitive behavior. So these type of encounters you will face everywhere. You will have that kind of issues with your friends, with your colleagues, or with your in your surrounding, that will be happening. But at the moment, you have to take the right decision, how you have to react to that. See, if you react in the same manner, if you react in the with the same intensity, I think it will go somewhere else. It will maybe destroy your relationship. It will it may impact your your whatever you are going on, your work, your professional goals. So that time we have to think. That time we just have to catch the situation. We have to observe the situation. We have to observe the mindset of the person who is there with you in that situation. So then you have to think and you have to analyze how to behave and how to control this anger, right? I could have give the answer to him. I could have tell, okay, you are just you always come with this anger, and I can't tolerate this, and you just go ahead, and I don't want you to in my project. And also, but you have to take care of these things. You have to think of your future things. Like if I tell him like now, so this may land you in some other troubles. Your project will be stopped. Your work will be stopped. Your professional life will be impacted. So many things will be there. You have to analyze those things, and then you have to outburst your anger, and you have to control your anger. Based on that only you should feel and you should react. So that's my personal opinion. I don't know how others feel, and what Miss Mansi says on this. But that's my opinion, and I'm not uh, the expert of this. But this is my suggestion. Before reacting, think 100 times, and just don't react simply to anyone. That's all from my side. Renouncing.
Yes, sir. That is absolutely right. And similarly, we have also encountered many situations in our life. So it replicates in other lives as well, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
now coming to ma'am. Ma'am, on behalf of all the students, and according to my experience as a student till now, ma'am, I have observed that there are some students who execute a high profile performance during their preparation of exams, but then they suddenly lag behind in confidence levels during the examination, and they fail to perform satisfactorily according to their performance. So how do we use the EI tool for our academic success?
Um, so the funny thing is, I was trying to think of an example, and a real live example. So we interviewed about 200 students, all IITs, IIMs pass outs, right? And before this was before the establishment of the company that we did 2 years ago. And it was to do the research, that to find out that what how they are doing in their lives, how they are performing well, because they have graduated from such eminent institutions of India, reputed ones. And 90% of the times the feedback that we received was that they were in so much of high pressure all the time while they were studying in those institutions. And then after leaving that, so this again was just before the pandemic, right? In last year, March, April, couple of them lost their jobs. And so they wanted to seek therapy, so they reached out to me because they knew me personally, so they reached out to me. And I was like, okay, but you are an IIT IIM graduate, I'm sure you shouldn't worry about finding another job. So I don't understand, like, why are you going through these depressive spells or anxious spells? And so the answer was that there is this vision in people's minds, right? That they have always performed well. Academically, they have performed so well. So it's the society mindset as well, and the pressure that they are always expected to live with a golden spoon. because they have been privileged enough to come out of these institutions. So the expectation of the people around them is so high all the time that they crumble under that pressure. So
True.
now, emotional intelligence, as you put the question across, that how can it be used as a tool for academic performance? Students, who are performing high, I mean, EI is such a tool that it's useful to everybody. It's not that, high performance students do not require EI. I think high performance students require more EI, because if they crumble in life, they just do not know how to deal with failures, how to deal with rejections, or how to deal with people not taking them on board, etc. um, there is a certain privilege in their minds. I don't know where it comes from, but it's just there. I don't think they teach them that in IITs and IIMs, that okay, you should go out into the world with this certain privilege in your mind, but they
Yes.
do have that. I'll also share another example. So, these again, okay, personally, I have nothing against IITs, to clear that out first, so that you guys don't come at me that, ma'am, what is the problem? But I don't know. I mean, I've had quite a few such experiences. I've seen that. So I'm just sharing that here candidly. There was this organization and they approached me, to be their advisor on board. It was formed by all IIT students, and they wanted me to kind of guide them towards youth initiatives, etc. And this was the only beginning of this year. And I asked them that, what is the structure, what do you want to do, etc. No idea. So there are like 25 people come together, formed a body, formed an NGO, etc., etc. No clue whatsoever that how, what is the structure, what do they want to do with. They're like, ma'am, that is the reason we need you as an advisor. And I said, but that is not an advisor's job to tell you what to do. An advisor's job is to support you in whatever you want to do. See, this is the problem. I don't know, like, the privileges are so set in their minds that they do not understand. The capability is just not there. I think academic performance is separate, and the real life performance, when you are out there in the world and how you use your common sense to succeed in life, that is completely different.
True.
And I think people don't understand that, the barrier, the boundaries that there are between these two things. And I think EI is the tool which kind of bridges this gap. When you are performing academically well and when you are out there in the real world, EI would bridge this gap, because EI can work as a very, very big tool, becoming empathetic, having good social skills, having good communication skills, having good leadership skills, having the ability to become more self-aware about your own emotions and understanding the emotions of people around you. I mean, all of those things will kind of add on to that academic performance where you've been doing well anyway, but then you have no clue what to do in real life, and these are the live examples that I just shared. So I think we do conduct a lot of workshops now. We have conducted workshops in universities, etc., where we are teaching these things to students, that how to use EI as a tool, and that will help you not only succeed in your personal life but also build a good professional career later on. Because the academic performance, yes, your qualification will stay with you. The degree is done, but that does not mean that you are not going to need other tools in life to succeed and survive. We have so many doctors in the world committing suicides. We have so many engineers in the world committing suicides. We have people from the entertainment industry. If you look at the US actors, whatever, I mean, why do these people, I mean, come to that point in life? They just don't know how to deal with their own minds. I think that is the key. You should learn how to deal with your own mind, no matter what you are qualified in, what you are taught in. So yes, that is the need of the hour. Emotional intelligence is actually the need of the hour.
Yes.
Absolutely, ma'am. I think most of the students will agree with your answer. And now moving ahead, sir, as we are all aware that many of the diseases include stress and emotional disturbances as one of the major causative factor. So it will be beneficial to know that how EI spreads its contribution towards the therapeutic success. So can you please elaborate it, sir?
Yes. See, that I think I have experienced a lot in the hospital. I used to see a lot of heart failure patients. So I'll give you example of heart failure patients only. Heart failure is kind of a chronic disease where people once get this, it will be deteriorating the health, and they will be taking medicines for a longer time. It never recovers with the medicines also. It is like they can just control the symptoms, right? So it isn't always, they have that stress. It is actually scientifically proven that they have the psychiatric problems, the depression or anxiety always with them. Because when it comes to the worst condition, they always have the breathlessness, they always have the fatigue, they are restricted to do their own work, own activities, daily life activities, like they cannot even change their own clothes, they cannot even take the bath, right? So when it comes to that, it is a burden. Not only this is stress, not only for the patient, even for the family, even for the caretakers. Because they have to engage in that. They have to, it affect their life. It affect their, financial problems. It affect their, family problems, and family separations, and many things are there. It actually impact on their brain. Directly, they feel depressed because the one person who is having the disease, it is already suffering, and he's like out of he cannot earn, or he's kind of a, they feel like this is an additional stress to the family. And additional stress means like emotional stress, of course, because they are always worried about the patient, they're always worried about their medications, about the financial problems what they're facing. And they have to do the medical visits, the doctor visits, hospital visits every month, or they have to go for the frequent admissions to the hospital. So in that, there are many things, including their personal health, including their caregivers health, including the financial stresses, as I'm telling, and including the availability of the medicine, and the medication non-compliance, they have to take the medicines daily. So this is kind of what affect their emotions and their mental health. So in that, I'll tell you how to actually get out of this, and how I observed actually. See, when you know about the disease, when you know about the cancer, of course, this is a cancer, there's a treatment, you should go to the proper channel. Proper channel means proper, whatever doctor says, whatever your therapy says, like, okay, you have to take these medications completely, or like it is for 6 months, you have to take the chemotherapy for 16 cycles or 14 cycles, like in cancer. Or in heart failure, you have to take these diuretics injection every week. So I feel you should take it as a positive thing, like, okay, at least my symptoms will be recovered, I'll be at least fine. And this I have to do, this I have to do. And if I avoid this, I'll be again, it will be troubling my health. I'll be in pain, and again, I have to visit the doctor. So you just have to take the instructions in a positive way to avoid that kind of situations. Of course, you cannot manage everything by yourself. You have to you need the suggestions of doctors, or you need to visit the doctors. But at least what I have seen my patients, where I have counseled them for medication compliance is one thing what actually uh, help in that. And medication compliance means they have to take their medications on time daily. If they avoid that, they will get the symptoms, and again it will increase the pain, or increase the body related problems or breathlessness, and also it will be again a stress for everyone, right? So I always tell them, I always counsel them, just take it easy and take it on time. Medicines and whatever instructions you are given, you have to take it, you have to follow properly. If you follow these things properly, and if you take the medicines, or like availability of the things. And even I talk to the caregivers, or whatever caretakers they have, their family people, like if they help a little bit in that situation, in kind of situations, their therapeutic success, the chances of therapeutic improvement, or outcomes, the good outcomes, it is really high. But if you just give up, and if you don't think about those things, if you like, okay, I got a heart failure, or I got the cancer, now I will die in 6 months, why I should follow this, why I should waste the money, and why I should take care of this family person, or why I should so that will be really an additional stress to you, it will create the depression, it will, impact your mental health, and definitely you will suffer a lot. Maybe if you are going in a right way, if you feel fine, and then it will definitely impact it if you are not following these things. So definitely taking a right decision on right time in that case, as Mansi is telling, that this is emotional intelligence, how to decide on time, how to take the right decision. You can improve your therapeutic success in that way. I feel that's what I observed actually in my practice.
Absolutely, sir. I hope your answer will be helpful to all our audiences. And now, well, this is a very high rated query which remains unsolved still in this advanced era, where many of the girls, when step out of their homes for fulfilling their professional lives, face a lot of emotional challenges coming from the orthodox society and family. So, ma'am, can you please describe how do they overcome with this?
I think women empowerment has always been important, and so recently when we conducted quite a few workshops surrounding the topic of women empowerment and surrounding the topic, and this question has come up in a lot of our conversations whenever we have done the workshops as well. So the girls have come up and said that we want to do certain things in our lives, but the barriers, the stigma, the mindset, the society, there are a lot of things that stop them from doing what they want to do in their lives. And educated, qualified families, individuals coming from educated families, etc. So um, you know women empowerment is not the need of the hour. The society mindset needs to be empowered. Women are already empowered, and I spoke this at the women empowerment panel in front of, I think, eminent personalities of India. And I said, we don't need women empowerment. Women are already empowered, they know what they want to do. We need to empower the societies, we need to empower people around them, that they allow them to be who they are and do what they want to do. Emotional intelligence, I think this is the reason why we are trying to create a 360-degree emotional intelligence environment, because only targeting one sector does not help. For example, if I am teaching a woman in my webinar, right, about creating boundaries, about how to live with boundaries, boundaries is very, very important for self development as well. To deal with things, to deal with anxiety or any mental health issues, boundaries is the first thing that any therapist will also talk to you about. The same, that do you know the importance of creating boundaries? What is boundaries? How do you create those boundaries? For example, if I teach a woman in this webinar that you should learn how to create your boundaries, she will go home and she will speak something there and say that this is me creating my boundary. Um, and if people don't understand that, they will just take it as पता नहीं क्या सीख के आई है, कहाँ से सीख के आई है, and you're just becoming rude, and you are just talking nonsense, whatever, etc, etc. This is what will happen in real world, and this is what is happening right now. So we need to empower the societal mindset. As a part of this outreach program, what we have done, what we have tried to do is, so we have workshops for teenagers, EI for teenagers, because teenage depression is at an all-time high in India right now. Even the suicidal rates, we lose one student every hour to suicide. That is how bad it is right now. The reasons for suicide, I was reading a newspaper, and the reasons for suicide listed were, so my dad took away my mobile phone, so I decided to hang myself. I mean, um, it's as ridiculous as that. So what we are trying to do is that now when we counsel the teenagers, when we do these emotional intelligence workshops, we try and talk to the parents for half an hour before the workshop. We try and talk to the parents like 10-15 minutes before the workshop, to tell them that what is the importance of this workshop and how you can help your child follow this up later on. That is very important. We need to build an inclusive society. We cannot just target one particular sector of people and say that, okay, ab hamara kaam ho gaya, we have done our job, we have given them this lecture, bhashan, whatever, and we have taught them how to do this, and then they are out there on their own with no idea or clue whatsoever that how they are going to actually practice it in real life. So I think in order for our women to become more independent, in order for our women to learn how to diplomatically handle situations at home, situations at work, etc., emotional intelligence plays definitely a very big role, because again, like I said, developing communication skills is the most important thing right now, which everybody needs. I think Dr. Ajit, when he gave that example of anger management, and how the colleague reacted to him, etc., that was because of that temporary glitch in his mind, that he could not, he could not get over his own emotions, so his own emotions were projecting in that way in front of another individual, which should not have happened in a professional environment. Okay, these guys were friends, but then if it had happened in a professional environment, he would be fired, he would be gone. So this can be very harmful. And I think in order to deal with these little practical life situations, EI helps a lot as a tool. You see, when a person is highly emotionally intelligent, for example, if I give my own personal example, if I'm in a stressful situation, which I am most of the time because I'm doing so many things, it's very difficult to kind of keep a hold on my mind, right? And for example, if I'm speaking to someone and suddenly, if I feel that, oh my god, this person is not at all getting what I'm trying to say, and this conversation is not going anywhere, and I'm talking to this person since an hour, and we are not getting anywhere, he's not understanding anything. But then for me to calm myself down in that conversation itself and say to myself, okay, Mansi, he's not understanding it, he's not getting it, probably this is not the right time for him, maybe he's surrounded with a multiple issues in his own mind, let us just leave this conversation here, we'll pick it up, sometime later, maybe later in the week or later in the month. There is no need for me to go ahead and tell him that you're so stupid, you're not getting one single thing that I'm trying to tell you, you know um this is what emotional intelligence teaches us: when to stop, when to pause, when to self reflect, when to communicate, what to say, when to say. And I think all of these things are very useful in your everyday life. To come back to your question, Noshin, about women empowerment and about women having these issues, women are sensitive by nature. Women are born sensitive. Women are more sensitive to emotions. Women become emotional more than men do. And I think all of those issues can be cleverly handled if women are taught to communicate in a better way. And I think emotional intelligence can really help them do that. So, all the people who are out here or whoever are listening to this later on, check out our website www.gmha.help. There are a lot of resources out there which you can just read as well. My LinkedIn is always filled with a lot of stuff that you can read out there as well. Every day I have maintained to write a post out there every single day, and it is for the benefit of the society so that people can learn something. So yeah.
Absolutely well said, ma'am. I completely agree with a lot of things in your answer. Now, as we all are well informed about the advancements in technology and social media progress, it has both positive and negative impact on youngsters especially. So, sir, how do EI help them to maintain a balance between them to get benefited more than getting negatively affected?
Uh, yes, Nausin. So, about the social media and all, I'll say I will talk about myself. I'm very much addicted. Seriously, I'm very much addicted of Facebook, Instagram, and whenever I get time, I used to go to LinkedIn and everywhere, and all the social medias except Twitter. I'm not there. So I spent a lot of time. Many people says you are always in the mobile, correct? But the thing is that you should be selective when you are on social media. You should not just see whenever you are scrolling up, you will get 100 things. You will get a lot of things, lot of nonsense, lot of good things even. You should be selective what you are going to choose. And not only AI, I will talk about AI here. AI is, in Google, in Facebook, whatever you search, next time it will show you the same thing, right? So you should be selective on that. And you should be, you should choose the content based on your need, whatever you are learning, whatever things are going in your mind, whatever projects you are doing, I will say you should read that kind of content, you should get through that kind of content. As I'm, I'm following such people in LinkedIn. I'm reading Mansi's post every day because it is giving me something, some, some good things, some, good insights about the EI or something. So you should choose the good content. That is EI, like how you decide and how you choose the content, what you are going to read or what you are going to learn from that. If you just go through, if you are just not just choosing your content, your interest, you will get 100 things, 100 nonsense things, which will get you to somewhere else only. It will change your mindset. It happened with me. It will change your mindset. Your social media things can change your mindset. So you should be strict to your content. You should be, be very choosy in that matter. So I'll suggest our youngsters, my friends, that whenever you are going to the content, whether it is movie or whether it is social media, whether it is reels or anything, if you are interested in some kind of dialogue, some kind of uh, series or whatever it is, you should choose your content and you should learn positive things, you should get positive things. There are negative things, or maybe more than 50% you will get in your content also, you will get negative things only. But how to get the content, how to observe the content, and what content you have to get into your life, that you only have to choose, no one else. So that's how, and here EI works, to choose the content from the social media. So that's all.
True, true, very true. Completely agree. I'm the same. I am also very much addicted to social media, and most of the time, I mean, late in the evenings, especially when you
Yes.
feel like, so I consciously make time to kind of put my mobile phone away and try and pick up a book to read, not a virtual book, a proper book. Now I'm getting fed up of all the virtual events, virtual things, and meeting people virtually, and it's just sometimes it just gets to you that it's becoming too much. So yeah, I do completely agree. But I think everybody has to make a conscious choice here. Very well
Yes.
said by Dr. Ajit, that what you read, any content that you are reading, how is it serving your purpose?
Yes.
How are you feeling then after that? For example, for me personally, whenever I read the news, I feel very depressed. For like half an hour, I cannot think, I cannot do anything. So I've stopped doing that now. I mean, there is no need for us to know that the numbers have gone from 1 lakh to 2 lakh to 2 lakh 35,000 to 50,000 or whatever it is. I mean, it's not in our control to control those numbers. What is the point in knowing them? So, right. So, I mean, it's selective content for your own mental peace.
Yes.
So, so yeah, very true.
Same thing. Since 3 days,
Mm.
I'm not listening to any kind of corona related news. Seriously. Because it is making you depressive.
Yes,
And just I will say one thing, not listening to news is your choice, but keeping yourself safe is very important.
yes,
Okay. So if you
very
are
true.
being safe, you are keeping yourself safe, it is very much mandatory. If you are listening to newses or watching the news, it doesn't matter actually.
Yeah, true, very true.
Yes, ma'am. And sir, absolutely. I think many of the youngsters will agree and they have experienced the same, what you have given the information in your answers. So I think this will be helpful to many of the youngsters in our audiences. So now to finally close the session, we can finally talk about the expression of emotions, where it has been evidenced that many of the children, when encounter some sensitive incidents, hesitate to share with their parents. So, ma'am, can we please know that how does EI fill this gap?
I think a lot of that has been discussed already in the conversations that we, recently had about building the generational gap through EI as well. Like I mentioned, when we do workshops for teenagers or, young students, we try and involve parents into those workshops as well so that they can also learn something as to how they can, parents always want to support their children. The only problem is the mindsets are different. They think that they are helping their children in a certain way, but the children don't see it like that. They feel that the parents are becoming obstructive in their ways or in their things, whatever they are doing, etc. I think it's a generational gap issue, and I think EI can be a huge support here, because the more self-aware the parents will also become of their own emotions, they won't, sometimes it happens in our homes as well. If parents are upset about something, then their anger will project on their children, and there would be issues in the house. So EI can be a very useful tool in building relationships, whether it's personal relationship, whether it's a professional one, whether it's with your parents, it's your friends, colleagues, etc. Because EI actually helps you, understand your emotions and emotions of other people around you as well. For example, an emotionally intelligent child will be able to understand that maybe their mother is not in a good state of mind, she's going through some stress of her own, etc., and that is projecting towards me in this way. She's not upset with me right now, but she's upset about other things. Even to understand that much, the emotional intelligence needs to be there. So I think EI as a whole, topic to create that 360-degree environment is very, very important, because only then we can empower societies in a better way. And I think to close this session, Nosheen, with your permission, I would like to kind of read something out from my post actually, which I had sent out few days ago. And it's about healing yourself, that how you can heal yourself, 10 ways of how you can heal yourself. And the post had about 25,000 views on it, so I would like to kind of share that here. um,
Sure, ma'am.
so the first step is, you start taking small steps, baby steps in your life. You make, small promises, you make small changes in your life. um, each of us want to self develop, right? I mean, talk to yourself first, that what is it that you want out of your life. Each of us want to, develop ourselves. Each of us want to become better. You want to become a better person today than you were yesterday, or tomorrow, than you were today. So I think that for that there is a stepwise process. It cannot happen overnight. Changes don't come overnight. Habits also don't change overnight, right? So I think the first thing would be to take baby steps. Second thing would be, don't try to feel better overnight. Nothing happens at once. So changing your ways will require time. So list out those things as to what you want to change. I think journaling is a very, very important concept. And I think might need completely another session to talk about journaling and how it helps you in your life. But trust me, the minute you start writing things down, it will make a huge difference. Your mind accepts it more. I think Dr. Ajit might be able to endorse that more, coming from the medical field. So that your mind would accept things in a better way, and you will be able to kind of overcome that obstacle in a better way as well. Third would be to start taking responsibility for your actions. Stop blaming people around you, stop blaming the environment, the circumstances, etc. Start taking responsibility for your own actions. Self reflect. Your mindset is very important. Fourth would be, allow yourself to feel the feelings. If you are feeling sad, say to yourself, okay, I'm feeling sad right now. That does not define you as a person. Your emotion is separate and you as a person are separate. Don't mix and match both of them. So allow yourself to be vulnerable, allow yourself to just accept your feelings, whatever they are, whether it is sad, whether it is anxiety, whether it is anger, whatever it is. I think once you accept that, then you will be able to understand the reason behind it, and then you will be able to overcome it. It's again a stepwise process. Fifth would be to let go of toxic relationships. I think it's very, very important for our own mental health and peace of mind that you have to let go of the toxic relationships, and first of all, I think it's to identify that you are in a toxic relationship and this is not working for you. Second step would be, once you have identified it, then to manage it, whether you're able to manage it or not. If you're not able to manage it, exit. That is the only way to go for your own, mental peace. That is how you would be dealing with it. Sixth would be to surround yourself with people that support you in a sense that support your purpose, who people who understand you for who you are. Identify your friendships. I think this is very important in this day and time, because to understand and know that who are your real friends, and how do you feel around them. Again, that peer to peer support then plays a huge strength there. Seventh would be, this is my favorite, to spend some time in nature. I think nature heals you in a completely different way that you people can't. Just sitting in nature, taking a walk outside in your garden or in a park or whatever. Try that. Eighth would be mindfulness. Practice some mindfulness activities every day, whatever works for you. Whether it is 5 minutes of meditation, whether it is 10 minutes of walk on your own, whether it is, just sitting down and listening to some music, whatever works for you. Because, it's different for everybody. Personally, me, I cannot sit and meditate at all. I've tried it a lot of times, but it does not work for me. There are millions of thoughts going on in my head, and I can never control those thoughts. So now I know that that is not for me. So instead, I prefer to go out for a walk in a park or somewhere. At that time, I feel that my emotions are calming down quite a lot. I can reach to a point where there are no thoughts coming at all in my head. So I know what works for me. So you have to figure out what works for you. Ninth would be to practice forgiveness, and 10th would be to practice gratitude. I think both of these things are very much the core elements of emotional intelligence. So, sorry, Noshin, we have gone a little bit past our time, but I just wanted to kind of bring up these 10 points and, give some value here to the platform. So,
No,
that would be
definitely
it from my side.
these are very important. These are very important. Yeah, seriously.
So, yeah.
Okay, so I think we have two questions from our audience. If
Yes, yes,
Nausin
sir.
is
We
done
can
with
go
the
for the
questions.
questions, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
fine, cool.
Uh, you all can please share your questions if you have any in the chat box. So we do have one question, ma'am. If you allow me
Yeah,
to
yeah,
read it for
please.
you,
Okay,
it's
so
from.
if she can ask her question herself, it will be
Yes, yes, we can do that as well.
So, is it from Dr. Pravalika? If
Pravalika.
she's, yeah, if she's
no,
here,
one
then
more
yeah.
question is there.
Okay.
Yashoda Krishna. Okay, Yashoda Krishna. Actually, he sent me the question.
Right.
I have a doubt actually, he's writing like feelings and emotions are basically born directly or indirectly from our thinking of desires. How can we manage it through our intelligence?
Yes, so I think this entire session has been about how to control and manage your emotions, learning more about emotional intelligence and how emotional intelligence helps you, becoming more self aware, then self reflecting on those emotions, then motivating yourself, and then your, social skills and abilities. So I think this entire session is the answer to your question in a way. So I won't go into repeating those things, but
Yes.
yes, EI will provide you a lot of tools to doing that, and my LinkedIn account is the answer to that as well.
Okay, there is a question from Dr. Pravalika. I want to know when some questions are unanswered or when we cannot come to a conclusion of what the answer of the question is, when we cannot judge, why do we lose our temper, cannot sleep sometimes, how to learn to be patient enough to wait and calm down at that point of time without anxiety, and how to manage the situations.
So when your questions are unanswered or when you cannot come to conclusion of what the answer for the question is, okay, so some people have this OCD behavior as well, that it should be now, like everything should be now. I was a victim of that for a while as well, and I learned to come out of it because I could not go to sleep with unanswered questions in my head. It's like I have to find the answers now, only then I can like close my eyes and go to sleep. I mean, it was so bad that if I had not paid my electricity bill, I would like it would come to me at 1 in the morning, and I would like wake up and start doing that then and there. It was so bad. So the way to come out of it is, practice mindfulness, practice some mindful breathing activities, practice how to calm down. I think that is very important because some of us are, how can I put it? Hyperactive in nature, that like we want to do multiple things all together, and we want it done now only, as if tomorrow is never going to come. While with all due respect to all the people who say that kal kare so aaj kar and all of that, but for people like us that does not work. We have to calm down and we have to tell ourselves that this can be left for tomorrow now, and
Tomorrow, no.
there is no need to do everything right now. So
Correct.
yeah.
Abhijit, okay, Abhijit's question is how much important the EQ in healing any disease? So would you like to answer?
Dr. Ajit, probably you can answer to this, being a doctor there, that, how can AI help in curing any disease? I think it's more about supporting in healing, right? Rather
Yes.
than healing it completely. I mean, it cannot replace any medicines or anything like that. I would
Mhm.
not say that, but it would support you in healing, because if your mental state of mind is in a good state, then it will support your physical healing. If I'm not wrong, Dr. Ajit.
Yes, it is all about positive behavior, how you react to your disease. That's all.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. So I think
how you think. Yes.
positive psychology, I think positive psychology plays a major role there in,
Yeah.
if even if you're not feeling 100% better, but if you keep telling yourself that, it's okay, it's a small thing, I'll be fine, and I'm doing what I can for my own
Yes.
well-being, and if you consciously make that effort towards your
Yes.
own well-being. See, EI also has these tools of, that diet, exercise, nutrition, all of
True.
these are important components. I mean, I had done a post, I think, few days ago, where I had said that, we have three brains. We don't have just one brain. We have
Yes.
three brains. So yeah, so it's your mind, it's your stomach, I mean, everything is connected. It's your heart. So it depends, how you are looking after all of these three entities, and they all work together constantly. One is not separate from the another. So I think it's very, that is also very important. Again, I think nutrition plays a very big role in controlling anxiety issues as well. So yeah, that's my, I think, 2 cents on that. So
Yes. Okay, Navshin.
So I don't think we do have any some other questions.
oh, we've got a last question just come in.
Yes,
Can
we've
you
got
tell
another
me about fear
question.
of losing? Shall I read it out, Noshin? I think your connection is a little bit unstable.
Yeah.
Yes, Miss Mansi, you
Can you
can
tell me
just.
about the
Okay.
fear of losing? That person will go away, or okay, okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
So, can you tell me about the fear of losing? Mainly, people, when we are close to someone, we feel that person will go away or will have some fights, something like that is there. Okay, I think emotionally, whenever you are attached to someone, there will always be that fear that, this person might go. What will happen if this person goes away from my life? I think it's more about your own fear of dealing with your own emotions and yourself, rather than, in a way we associate it with people in our lives, but it's our own fear of, ourselves. And I think therein lies the issues of self esteem and self confidence. I think building self confidence there will help you deal with, such situations in life. So I think, if you read about, how to build your own self confidence, and, what to do with things surrounding that, eventually, I think once you are self confident enough, you will feel in a much better space in your head. And then you won't, relate your emotions with other people around you. I mean, if you listen to all of our gurus, or, whoever are the leading personalities of the world in healing, when they speak about life, and when they speak about how to live your life, आप अकेले आए हो अकेले जाने वाले हो, and all of that stuff, when they talk about it, what is it? I mean, it's basically, that is what they are trying to say, right? That you should be self confident enough in your own mind that you will sustain and survive no matter what changes happen around you constantly all the time. And I think in this pandemic times, unfortunately, because we've lost so many people out there in the world, we should consciously practice this behavior as well, where we build our own self confidence, where we build our own mindset so as to sustain and survive, and also to deal with uncertain situations.
Okay, so I think one more last question we will take, Miss Mansi. That
Yeah.
is from Eva. How to cope with emotional exhaustion, like feeling stuck or trapped in a situation?
I think, again, Eva, to answer to that, emotional exhaustion is also, a part and parcel of life. We are all going to be in situations like that, where we are going to feel that, we are trapped in this situation and we don't know how to get out of it. But I think self awareness, self reflection, both of these components of emotional intelligence will help you deal with that situation, will help you that how you can deal with the situation in a better way. So if you learn more about becoming self aware and how to, understand your emotions in a better way, and then how to manage those emotions when you are in those situations where you feel emotionally stuck, or where you feel that you are trapped in this situation. um, that is the tool that will help you there at that point in time.
Yes. Yes, Nausin, let's conclude.
Okay, sir. So now I think many of the listeners are satisfied with your answers and their doubts are clarified. Now, before concluding the session, sir, can you please share the flyer of our first episode of CliPod?
Yes, yes, yes. So we are launching CliPod first episode today, and every Sunday you'll be getting episodes of season two. So you can listen our podcast episodes on Anchor, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon, and Google Podcast everywhere. Whatever podcast you are using, you can just go there. We will share the links with you in our social media handles. Everywhere we will send our links, and you can just go through and listen to uh, the podcast done by Miss Mansi. There are 4 episodes in this season. So every Sunday for next 1 month, you can listen different topics, and you will get all the information about that. So guys, yes, congratulations. We are launching season two. Yes,
Well done.
yes,
Fantastic. I had a great time doing these podcasts, guys. I think they are about 40 minutes each, if I'm not
yes,
wrong. And yeah, I mean, we've spoken on amazing topics, and we've tried to cover so many different genres. And CliPod has done an amazing job putting this season together. So yeah, please do have a listen. And we would love to, hear your feedback as well. So
exactly.
yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Put your feedbacks also, guys. Okay, thank you. Yes, Nausheen. Okay, so
Yes, so
links,
sir, as
first
sir
episode,
said,
I
guys,
think first episode link is posted even here
yes, sir.
by Abhishek.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, great, great.
Yes, sir. So please grab your excitement for the new episodes of season two. Trust me, it's very exciting compared to the season one, and you'll have an amazing journey in our season two episodes, especially with Mansi ma'am. So now to finally conclude this session, you can listen to our Clipod sessions on Anchor application, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Stitcher. And our first episode of podcast with Mansi ma'am is going to be released shortly, and the link will also be shared soon to you all. And so finally, thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful cooperation and support.
Yeah,
You have made the topic more illuminating and insightful.
great. I'm glad.
Yes.
I'm glad. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Rajiv.
you, Mansi. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. Yes, you have accepted the invitation, and
yeah.
for this webinar and for the podcast. I hope it will be a great success again,
Yes,
as
of
we did in
course.
season one.
Of
Definitely,
course.
yes. Okay.
Of
Thank
course.
you, everyone, for
Thank
joining us.
you.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you, everyone.
Bye.
I want
Stay
to
safe.
thank the
Bye
whole.
bye. Take care, guys. Take care.
Okay, sir.
Bye bye.